All right, welcome back to the Just Sports Show. I'm your host, Ryan Dawes. We're back. We're gonna keep it quick for our regular recaps, and then we're gonna get into us playing general manager for 4 specific teams later. But first, let's start out with this past week of football. As I predicted, it was dog shit football.
It was horrible.
Granted, they were
It was so
competitive
bad.
games. They were very competitive. Like 5 games came down to a field goal at the end of the game, which is pretty cool. But they were all pretty dog
Might have
shit
been
games.
6, but yeah.
But let's get through this real quickly. First, we're gonna start. With our locks and upsets updates. I've moved up to 10-10. Greg is sitting at 11-7. Yuri's at 11. Or I probably just can't do math, and I forgot to add one to Greg, but I think he's at 11-8 or 12-7. And Zach's at 7-12.
You forgot to say mine.
Oh yeah, you're at 11-8. So I believe you're tied with Greg.
Wow.
Ooh. All right. I ain't saying nothing yet. Tied.
Yeah, good for you. You're
I'll take it.
I was in the lead for a while.
Well,
It's still right there.
That happens.
It's up
when
for
you get a
grabs.
Bunch correct in a row. Oh no, wait, you are 12-7.
I'm also on like a 9-game
Uh-oh.
streak of getting my lock correct. Is it? I think that's right. I've gotten like 9 locks
Let's get
correct.
into our quick recaps. We're gonna do 3 words about each game. First,
Yeah.
we'll start with the Germany game. Colts versus New England. This was torture.
Mac Jones stinks. Go with the
Yeah.
simple one.
This was pretty bad football.
Sorry, Zach.
I did like Dan Orlovsky's take this week that the Browns would be a playoff team with Mac Jones. Like, as I agree.
Yeah.
Bench Mac Jones.
Yeah. Well,
No,
they
they
did.
can't.
And then Zappy
They
threw an
can't.
interception.
That's what Gronk was talking about it. They can't. Gronk is team Mac Jones. I think he's kind of sick of Bill. It's kind of like weird to see.
It's a mix of
He
both
was- he was-
sucking.
He was like, you're destroying him mentally because you bench him. They've benched him 3 times now, and the guy that they bring in is even worse. So it just goes to show that there's clearly more problems than just a quarterback. Well, Mac Jones is never going to be an elite quarterback. There's a lot more wrong with New England than just Mac Jones.
I'm not a Mac Jones guy, but I'll just say I think Belichick has to call it. He's going to go down as the greatest coach of all time.
It's like y'all don't understand what say 3 words means about the
I have a lot
Oh,
more
I didn't know. My
thoughts, but
fault. I didn't know.
I remembered the 3 words.
Yeah.
Of all people, I remembered.
We haven't done this in a while, Ryan.
Well, I mean, we got to get.
We do
Yeah.
got to get through it
All right,
quick.
But
But-
next game,
Yeah.
Houston, Cincinnati. Houston beat them 30-27 easily for me. CJ Stroud in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, Stroud for MVP. That was
I'm
mine.
gonna say D'Amico, Coach of the Year favorite? Question mark.
That's 3 words.
Stroud
that's-
Stroud MVP candidate question mark.
Yeah, Stroud's got a chance for MVP next.
They might be the best team in that division, but they're not going to win it, which is crazy.
They won't win it, but they're definitely the best team, or the most exciting at least. Next, New Orleans losing to Minnesota 27-19. Dobbs' wagon. Dobbs
Mine-
is the new wagon.
Mine's Minnesota wild card. I don't see this team missing the playoffs. I don't see them missing. I just don't.
Something about their vibes.
They're well coached. Jefferson's back. Dobbs doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, Dobbs is that guy. More than 3 words.
Ooh.
It's crazy that their season went from Cousins is out, let's tank and try and get a top 10 pick to shit, we're gonna make the playoffs now.
I'm gonna say
And
Jefferson
that's not a team you
soon.
want to see.
Jefferson soon because they're gonna have Jefferson back and
He's back
he's
this
gonna have
week.
all the weapons to his disposal.
Yeah, he's back this
Dobbs.
week. So
Next, we got Pittsburgh 23, Green Bay 19.
Pittsburgh's making the playoffs.
Pittsburgh's making the playoffs.
Pittsburgh
But
playoffs.
they're gonna make the playoffs.
Pittsburgh, I got mine. Pittsburgh wins North. I think they're going to win the North.
Really?
Over
Yeah.
the Ravens?
Ravens.
I don't think the Ravens are gonna.
The Ravens have been they've been more consistent than the Ravens. I don't think they're better than the Ravens,
I
but
think
they've been
they've
more
just been-
consistent. And I'd rather bet on consistency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can understand that, but I think the Ravens are more complete as a roster. And you know,
Yeah, no. I'm not disagreeing. I think the Ravens are a more talented team and probably a better team. That doesn't mean they're going to win
Well,
the division.
I don't
though.
see
They've been
it.
very streaky.
we all know our main
Andrews
issue
is done for the year now. Andrews is done for the year. That's
true.
going to hurt.
We know our main issue with the Steelers
True.
offense. I think we can all
Matt
agree on that.
Canada.
But,
I don't
but
turn the
listen,
ball
but
over,
the
though.
Steelers are the first team in NFL history to like get outgained in the first 6 or 7 games and have a winning record. It's
You wanna know
incredible
why,
that this
though?
team is done well.
They're an anomaly.
It's-
They're just an anomaly.
It's the same thing as Minnesota. They don't turn the ball over and they play good defense and they're well
Yeah.
coached.
They're making the
It's hard to bet
postseason.
against that, especially once you hit December. It's hard to bet
Yeah.
against that.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna skip over Tampa, Tennessee because that was kind of a snooze fest.
it kind of was a
That
bad
was
game.
horrible.
Will
those are
Levis, what
terrible
are you
games.
doing, man?
San Francisco had their way with Jacksonville. I think they're just back.
49ers
Yeah.
reminded us.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then we got Cleveland and Baltimore. We got chaos division, except it's actually good teams instead of the AFC South being trash division. Or the NFC South being
I'll say
trash.
my 3 words for that game are I don't understand. I don't understand the Browns. I don't get it. I don't think Stefanski's that great of a coach. Their defense is just absurd. Their defense is so good.
They have such a good defense. It's just
Yeah.
now Deshaun Watson's out for the year. But do you think
Yeah.
like,
So is it Walker now? So is Walker going to be the
I think it's
starter?
DJ. No, it's DTR. DTR starting this week.
Oh yeah,
He
Dorian
is.
Thompson-Robinson.
Yeah, they're going DTR.
my
Yeah,
3
we'll
We'll
words
see.
are
The wheels might fall off here because
Yeah.
Deshaun played within that offense
Yeah.
actually decently well.
you kind of hinted
So,
on my 3
the
words.
wheels-
Last big win. I think it's gonna be their
Yeah.
last big win of the season.
I've said it before though. I counted them out early. I can still see them.
I counted them
Yeah.
out a little early myself.
I think
I
we
did
all
not
did.
expect Watson
We
to.
all did.
I don't think Watson's good, but he didn't play. I expect him to play decent. He played decently this year.
Yeah. Next,
I love
we got
that. Yeah.
we got Arizona beating Atlanta with another one of those last second.
Yes,
football
go.
wins. Football missed Kyler.
Yeah,
Football
Kyler's back.
missed
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
it's good to see
Overhated,
Kyler on the
dude.
field.
I got my 3 words.
Oh,
Oh,
don't say
yeah, Jonathan.
You no. Don't even get me started. Go to the
They got
next one.
Johnny
Go to the
Gannon.
next one.
No, my 3 words. My 3 words are Cardinals futures bright.
They have
I
a
agree.
very bright.
You know what
You
they
found your
possibly-
coach. You found your coach. You found your quarterback. Now you have a chance to go add to that this offseason. They're going to get a top probably 7 pick.
Yeah.
The
It should be.
2023
We'll see.
Cardinals, the 2023 Cardinals remind me of the 2021 Lions. And then look at the
Yeah.
Lions.
The other, so I will say this, just a thought about the Cardinals and the future of them. That division's old. Seahawks are a youngish roster, but Carroll's getting old. The Niners,
Niners
paid a lot of money for a bunch of guys.
Niners are like in win now mode.
and then the Rams are in cap hell and they're old. So
Yep.
the next 2 years, the Cardinals could take a jump and be
Yeah.
towards the top of
Speaking
that division.
Speaking of the Lions,
They need weapons.
As we just were speaking of the Lions, they went out and beat LA 41-38. Probably one of the best offensive games of the season.
That was a really good game. And
Yeah.
I think the Lions, like I made my bold prediction, I think it was last week or the week before that they were going to get the number 1 seed in the NFC because of how soft their schedule was. And we see how
Yeah.
good that offense is. And we got to give some credit to Justin Herbert as well. He played a terrific game. And that's with the broken finger that he's been dealing with for most of the season. And last year he dealt with, broken ribs for most of that year? I think
Yeah.
it was last
He's
year.
been
Yeah,
killed.
that's one thing I definitely can give to Herbert. He's a very tough player, and he definitely plays
a
through a
top
lot of it.
7
And I think it's
quarterback.
just
I don't know. I just don't know how Brendan Staley still has a job.
that's the issue. I mean,
He won at the end
Yeah.
of the year.
Yeah, he won't. He will not. be
Because
the
even
head
if they
coach
make the
going into next
playoffs,
season.
they'll be a first round exit.
they're not making the
and
playoffs.
Even,
Yeah.
even the Chargers management isn't dumb enough to be like, okay, like they're smart enough to realize,
Oh.
okay, we're kind of stuck.
It's Staley in the defense.
I'll say this instead of
Well,
my
the
3
defense,
words.
yeah,
My hot take: I think Belichick leaves the Pats and goes to the Chargers.
nah. I've heard
Belichick will
Washington.
retire. Belichick-
I-
Yeah, I think
I know
I think
no
you're-
way he retire. He can't retire. No.
Why should anything like if what the Patriots are going to do with Belichick, they're not going to fire him. They're just going to tell him, hey, we're
Yeah,
gonna let you
exactly.
go. But Belichick's going to step
You
down. I don't
gotta
think-
you gotta see that like this is diminishing his legacy right now. The fact that he hasn't done anything ever since Brady's left, and Brady even won without Belichick again. So I mean, the fact of the matter is, Belichick I think has got to at least do something
He's
without
gotta-
Brady.
He doesn't
All right,
have to do
let's
anything.
move
He's
to
got
the
enough
next
money.
game. Let's move to. You guys really do not understand the key.
That one we had to do more than 3 words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You had to
that
do
game was
more,
worth more.
But you
That
still
game was
don't
worth
really
more.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, we have the frauds of the NFC kicking the shit out of the worst team in the NFC. Dallas are some
Shut
professional
up.
stat patters. They're professional stat patters.
Who'd they play again last week?
They
They
played
play
the Giants.
This
And there was
yeah.
no reason for Dak and CD to go back in the game up 35-7, but CD went back in the game just to get his 10th reception to go over 150.
I'm
They
doing 2
can't
words.
be a good team. They
Dude,
cannot
they
be a
are
good team.
cooking.
Anybody who thinks I don't get why the media is pushing Dak
Haven't
for
been a good team.
MVP is
Dak's not an MVP candidate, but holy shit, he's having a good year. Some of
yeah,
those
he hasn't done anything against good teams.
No,
He
dude,
hasn't been a team over
dude, he
500.
lit up the Eagles. He lit up the Eagles.
And,
The Eagles are
and what was
Did he
the
win?
result?
No, he
And what
didn't
was the
win.
result? Yeah.
dumbass, dude. He lit up a top 3 defense and lost by 1 score.
Eagles-
Who said that?
The
Who
Eagles
said the
defense
Eagles
hasn't
defense
been
was
that
top
great.
3?
We talked about this enough last. We talked about that game
Jeez
enough
Louise.
fucking last week. I don't think we need.
Dude,
to
how the fuck is that hating? I don't understand that. I mean, how is that like Dick Wright? I don't understand that.
It's not. It's not. Dick
He
Wright.
had-
It's not Dick Wright.
He had 3 touchdowns and 300 yards against a top 3 defense, in my opinion, in the league, and only lost by 1 score. And because you hate the guy so much, you don't want to admit he's good.
I don't
I'll be-
hate Dak.
Listen,
He's having
yes,
a
you
good
do.
season,
Yes,
but he's
you
always
do.
had a good regular season.
To
He
be
always
No, he
fair,
has.
hasn't, dude.
Yes, he has.
These throws he's been making these last couple weeks are absurd.
You
The
see
new
these
off-
types of games every single year.
Dude, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. You cannot win a Super Bowl and be a good quarterback. Was Phillip Rivers a bad quarterback because he couldn't win a Super Bowl? No, he was a great quarterback.
to be fair, the Eagles' defense is inconsistent.
The secondary.
The secondary is
The front
inconsistent.
Especially in the secondary.
Their
No,
front
No, Sean
seven's
Desai's Sean Desai's specialty is his blitz packages. He's very aggressive. He wants you to feel his defense. But so far, I haven't seen that from the secondary. I'm hoping that changes.
Bradbury
I'm
and
loving
Shea
Dallas
have not
right
lived
now.
up to their potential.
Next we got some.
Loving the postseason.
We got Seattle against Washington, and Washington also has a bright future because Sam Howell looks like a good quarterback.
I
I don't know if he's a franchise guy, but shit, he can
He's a
sling
nice
it.
bridge guy. Yeah,
Washington
it.
has plans.
they got some seeds in there.
I
They
really
just-
think
just need
they
a
can
good
make some moves
coach.
this offseason.
Yeah. Interesting where they go at coach.
Let's
I
get to
want-
the next snooze fest on primetime football again for whatever reason. Vegas 16 and the Jets 12.
That game might have been worse than Bears Panthers.
Bears Panthers still bad. But both of these
That game
games
was
were
bad.
awful.
All right.
The Raiders
hurry up.
have life though. It's actually kind of enjoyable to watch.
The Raiders have life, but it's like
I think their coach is a little corny, but it's cool to see them
Yeah.
not look miserable because they
All
looked
right.
miserable every week when they
Yeah.
played for McDaniels.
And then on Monday Night Football, the Broncos upset Buffalo, and Josh Allen's feeling that damn Madden curse.
I'm just saying, you all called me a moron for mentioning Denver last week.
Dorsey is gone.
Dorsey is gone.
Yeah, that was a dumb firing though. That just doesn't. That was a scapegoat fire.
I agree.
Well, we'll see. It depends how the Bills play the rest of the season, especially Josh Allen, because Josh Allen has been turning the ball over way too much. And this was
Yeah,
my
I
problem
don't know.
with
You
him coming
watch-
into the season.
It's
Josh Allen's
so
currently playing like a high value market version of 2019 Carson Wentz.
no. So here's my opinion on Allen this year. Because
Oh,
I've been
geez.
watching a lot of the Bills. He has turned the ball over a lot, but you want like his 2 turnovers last week were not on him. Some of them are just bad luck picks. But again, that's on the offensive scheme for putting him in those scenarios where he's got to make these risky throws.
A decent year.
No, I agree.
I'm not
He
saying that
has,
he's
yeah.
been great.
Well,
Yeah,
'cause
He's had a decent year.
Russ-
He's actually been solid.
when Sean Payton has done is Sean Payton has minimized his turnovers.
He's
That was his problem
minimized-
last year.
He's got
he
the second
can't-
best touchdown turnover ratio.
He's not stretching the field like he used to in Seattle, where
minimized
he's
the
just
effect
bombing
that,
it to block it.
Yeah,
But
he's minimized the effect that Russ actually has on the game, and he keeps it simple. And
Yeah.
that's really what they.
I think Sean Payton's done a really good job with that team because they did not
Let's move
have
on to
a,
week 11.
they're a train wreck.
Let's move on to week 11. Starting with Thursday Night Football. First, the Bengals season is pretty much over.
Yeah.
I also don't see a world where Zach Taylor remains the Bengals head coach heading into next season.
I don't
think It's
know.
that impressive.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
always
know
thought he
what?
was.
Oh,
I always thought he was. I don't know. I've always been pretty neutral about him. I thought the supporters of him were kind of overrating him. Then I always kind of felt like his haters were like just hating on him way too much. Like he got a lot of undeserved hate. Um, I will say this about Baltimore. They did not play that good.
Yeah, they
They
just
really
got
the second half, once Burrow got hurt, they looked good, obviously. But I don't this team, we talked about them last week as a Super Bowl contender, and I just don't see it. I don't
I think
see
they
it
still
yet.
are.
all right.
You know what? I actually
That's not
think
me saying the roster
no.
isn't capable of doing it. I believe the roster is
I don't think
capable
they're
of doing it.
consistent enough.
I don't think they're
Yeah.
consistent.
Has
I
any
can
team
understand
ever
the
been
concern.
consistent this year, though?
It's the receivers. That's my thing. We were watching the game. I was out at the bar last night watching the game. There was one play. Lamar legitimately had 10 seconds to throw the ball. And no one was open. He had no one open. OBJ is too slow to get separation. Zay Flowers has his moments where he looks great, but you can kind of tell he's a year away from like really understanding how to play
That's fair.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Andrews is out for the year.
I
The running
will.
Now they got to
Right.
trust Isaiah Likely. Their running back room's been great all year.
They
Yeah,
have
running
one of the
back-
top rushing offenses,
especially Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards,
and they have a
carries
top 2
much.
defense.
All right,
Yeah.
let's
I
move
would
on-
say
let's move
that
on to
the-
our predictions for Week 11 because we're taking too much fucking time. Obviously, Greg, Zach, you guys didn't text me your picks. Just tell me.
I did text you my picks.
I probably just forgot to read
Greg
it.
is always early on that stuff.
I'm
I
gonna
know
be
that.
honest,
I do it
probably-
on Tuesday.
Yeah, I do
Probably-
mine on Thursday, like right
probably
before
forgot
Thursday
to
Night
read
Football.
it. Oh yeah, I just did forget to read it. So Zach, pretty much when your pick comes, let us know. We're gonna start with
Yeah.
the 1 o'clock window. We got Pittsburgh going to Cleveland at 1, and I'm gonna take Cleveland probably by 3 in a very low scoring game.
I'm gonna say Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I can't bet against Pittsburgh. I've picked them the last couple weeks.
I'm
gonna go
rolling with their
Pittsburgh.
playoff hopes.
Pittsburgh by less than a touchdown. Close
Yeah,
game.
I agree with
It'll be a
that.
close
It'll be
game, low
close.
scoring.
I'm gonna make this even. I'll go Cleveland.
Yeah.
Me-
All right,
me-
next-
and I don't mind that. Their defense has been
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's a weird game to pick. I can't pick against Tomlin right now.
The game could
Sorry.
go either way.
Tomlin's awesome.
Next, we got a probable blowout in Detroit. But Justin Fields is back, but still give me Detroit by 2 scores.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Taking
Same
the
here.
Lions.
Lions
Detroit spread. They're gonna destroy
and the
them.
Lions are have one of the best offenses in the league this year, no doubt.
Yep. And a very underrated running
Yep.
game.
Then
Yeah, I agree.
Now the Chargers are going into Lambeau Field. What do we got here?
I'm
Give
choosing the
me-
Chargers. Don't worry,
Yeah, give
I'm
me-
choosing the Chargers.
I'll take
I
the
do think they'll
Chargers
win
by
this game.
touchdown. I'll take Chargers by touchdown.
The Chargers.
I think they have a
defense is
good
bad
game.
enough- The Chargers defense is bad enough where it'll be a 1-score game, but the Chargers
It's-
will take it.
It's interesting. It's
taking
the
the
first time.
I'm taking the Chargers.
This is the first time taking the Chargers in a long time, but I definitely think they're better than the Green Bay Packers.
Now we got the Dolphins off of a bye, hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. This should be a slap in the face
Yeah.
for the Raiders.
Antonio
I think-
Pierce, say hello to your first loss.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins run it up. I think they're
Yeah.
mad. They're mad.
Dolphins-
They're gonna play angry.
They
The Dolphins
better
will put
play
up 40.
angry.
Coming off the
They're
bye, I
going
got
to.
the Dolphins. And what was it with the Raiders? They've only scored over 21 points once, right? That was against the
Raiders are
Giants.
five and
Twice.
five.
Twice.
How are they 5? I just saw it the other day. That's absurd.
Luck.
And they've only
Luck.
scored 21 points.
and their
once.
defense has been great.
Yeah, Crosby's defensive player of the year candidate.
Max Crosby's
Great.
awesome. Yeah.
All right, next game.
Next game, the Washington Commanders will
Oh.
host the New York Football Giants. This one's easy.
Washington.
Commanders.
Commanders by a lot. Or probably-
What's
probably
crazy is
close.
Commanders stink. Commanders stink, and they're 8.5-point favorites. That's how bad the Giants
that's
are.
wild.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Greg. It's got to be such
Well,
a
no,
time
no.
for you.
No,
man.
it'll pay
They're-
off. It'll pay off when you get
The
Caleb
Commanders are bigger favorites against the Giants than the Bills are against the Jets. Just for reference.
Williams. That's crazy. Next game, it'll be another blowout. I'm gonna say 3-score win by Dallas over Carolina.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
not a lot of great matchups this week.
I'm saying
I think
Dallas,
it's-
but I think it's within
No,
10.
No, there's no
I think
way.
they cover.
No
I think
way.
Panthers cover.
Bryce is going to
They
turn it
won't.
over at least
They
twice.
Yeah,
Bryce will turn it over. Dude, Micah Parsons is going to do horrible things to that offensive line.
The
Panthers' offensive line is so bad. Yeah, that's going to be bad. Micah Parsons might have like 4
Next
sacks.
game, Greg. let me hear your opinion on it because this is your lock.
That's right. The
Oh,
Jags over the
Jacksonville.
Titans. I think
Aren't they right at 7?
I
wait,
forgot to.
Yuri, Yuri.
I did forget to mention. My lock of the week was Cleveland over Pittsburgh.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, this is my
Okay.
lock. Last week was a wake-up call for the Jaguars against San
I agree.
Francisco. We didn't really know what this team's ceiling was. I think they're going to come out motivated in this game against Tennessee, and they're going to win by 2 scores.
I
They
agree.
need
I
a
think
bounce back. They
Tennessee
I
need-
agree they
sucks.
win. I agree. Yeah. I still like Trevor Lawrence. I like the weapons he has. I like pieces
Yeah,
of their
I think
defense.
they just had a bad game. I think that's it. Like,
It's a
I'm
bad
not-
game.
I also am a firm believer in Dougie P to take that team to the postseason.
And we got the last 1:00 game on the slate. It is the Houston Texans against the Arizona Cardinals. I wish this game was in Arizona because I might pay tickets.
You know
for
what?
it.
I think
This
this will be
is
It'll
I
be
think
close,
this is a
it'll
little
be
closer.
surprisingly close.
yeah,
this
It will
is
be
my lock of the
Surprisingly
week.
Close.
dude, it's
It's
6
just-
points.
I think Houston still wins, but it will be surprisingly close.
Yuri, this
start
cannot be
giving
your
some credit
lock.
to Jonathan Gannon.
What? This can't
This
be my
cannot
lock.
be
It
a
is my lock.
Jonathan Gannon.
It's 6 points. No
What,
shit.
is it
to
at
lock.
6? I thought it was at 4.
Yeah, it's at 6 points.
It's now at 6. Well, at the time it was at 4.
Did you take? Oh, fine.
The
Whatever.
time he texted me,
It was. I
at
swear to
4.
God, it was
Okay,
at 4 when
that's
I texted
fine.
Ryan.
It's now
4,
at 6.
dude.
6 is stretching it, but when he texted me, it was.
And by the
Okay,
way, weren't the
that's-
Jags
that's
at like
fine.
7? And you didn't say anything to. Come on, guys. Nah, I still
didn't
think the
do
Texans
that.
are going to win. The Jaguars are at -7.
It'll
Anyways.
be a 1-score.
Oh,
win for
that's
the
your
Texans.
lock? Wait, hold on. Greg, your lock of the week is Jags over Titans?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my
Jags
lock.
minus
No
7.
shit.
He's
No
taking a
shit, that's a
risk.
lock.
He's not
I
taking
thought it was 7
risks.
points.
That's
It is
horrible.
7, but he's not taking a risk.
We need to change that. It should be 5.
No, when I looked it up,
I'm
it was
open.
6.5.
I'm open to making it 5 for the
Yeah.
for the remainder.
Well, this week it's fine. I think
next
next
week
week
it's
we can
fine.
start-
Next week we're
Honestly,
gonna move it down to 5.
I say we do it. Make it 5. Let's make it interesting.
Starting
Yeah.
next week.
We'll
starting next
We'll
week.
start. Yeah,
But,
we'll start
but
it next
listen,
week.
Zach. To be
Hey.
fair, Texans were only at 4 when I chose them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're fine.
And
I,
I
just,
think
I
Jacksonville
was
was at
looking at
6.5.
it and I was like, all right, we got to say
I'm
something.
just saying, my lock was -1.5. I'm
My
not
lock
playing
is -2.5. So
You can
All
like
right,
I don't.
I got you.
I actually like
All right, let's
choosing
get to the
locks
4
that are like
o'clock
negative.
slate. Let's get to the 4 o'clock slate.
Yeah,
This one's easy. San Francisco by probably 3 scores
San Francisco. I agree.
against
Who they-
Tampa.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna start
Oh,
winning
yeah.
games again. They're gonna start winning games again. They had their rough patch. It's done. They're gonna
They're
San
start
healthy
winning.
Francisco's
again.
back. They're healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now we
I
got
agree.
the Buffalo Bills hosting the New York Jets. I don't think
I
the
do
Bills
have
lose at
Buffalo.
home.
I think
I
the
do have
Bills
Buffalo.
come out. I
They
think the
gotta
Bills
win.
come out and have a big game.
This
I
is
think
the
the
That
must
was a
win
wake
game
up
for
call
the
against the
Bills. Yeah.
Denver Broncos.
Give
Must-win
me
game.
Buffalo.
Now we got the LA Rams.
That's
taking on the
another
Seattle
bad game.
Seahawks.
That's
Another
one.
Seattle.
Potential bad game.
Never mind. This is my lock. I'm changing my lock.
You're
This is my
changing your
lock.
lock. You're taking
Seattle.
Seattle?
at -1.
Really?
Seattle's -1. That makes no sense. That Seattle defense is going to put
Well, is
Stafford.
Stafford?
in
Is
hell.
Stafford coming back?
Yeah,
I
he
think
is playing,
Stafford's
but
back.
Okay.
that defense is
It
gonna
doesn't
put him
matter.
in
Seattle. I
hell.
like Seattle a lot more.
I love the Seattle defense. Yeah, give me Seattle.
I
I'll
like
take
Seattle.
Seattle.
I like Pete Carroll. I like Geno. I like who he's got on offense. I mean, they're gonna make the postseason. They're gonna be one of the top wild cards.
Now on Sunday Night Football, the Denver Broncos host
Josh
the
Dobbs.
Host Josh Dobbs.
This is actually a good game.
It's
I'm
gonna be-
picking
it's gonna be-
Minnesota.
I'll be watching.
Give me Josh Dobbs.
This is gonna be a scrappy game. I'm gonna let Russ cook.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Where
let
is
Russ
this
cook.
game?
there goes
Hold
my
on.
energy.
This
There
game
goes
is
my energy,
in-
Ryan.
In Mile High. This is at Mile High.
Ah, this is a tough
In
game,
Denver.
actually.
So I'm gonna
Fuck.
say let Russ cook.
I do
Zach,
like Russell
go-
Wilson though,
Go
but
before
I am
me.
choosing Minnesota.
I'm gonna go Minnesota. That'll be my upset.
Oh,
Oh,
you're- I
not a
thought
bad
we were
choice.
all gonna have the same upset.
I thought everyone
I
was gonna
think
pick
I'm gonna
Minnesota.
go.
No.
I'm gonna take Minnesota. They're at home, right? Or is Denver?
They're
away?
away.
Oh God,
in Denver.
You know
I
what?
like
Maybe
to
I'll
hear
take, I'm gonna take Denver then. I'm gonna take Denver.
I don't. Yeah, that's a tough
Well,
game.
The,
That's a
the
tough
rest
game.
of us
It is
all
a
have-
tough game. I swear to
see
you
this
guys. When I was
see
looking
this
at
is more
this,
of a letdown game for.
when I was
Denver.
looking at
I
this
can-
game, it took me a half an hour to choose. Like, so I do like a pick 'em.
I think
I-
you're overthinking it. Then
I was
You're
overthinking it.
You're
But I was
overthinking it.
definitely
All right,
like,
let's
I
get
was
to this.
staring
Let's
at
get
this
to
game.
the main event.
Let's get to the only game
Oh,
that really
God.
matters this week because 3 of us
Super
have this
Bowl
as our
rematch.
upset. The Super Bowl rematch in Arrowhead. Kansas City is favorited. They're at minus
2.5.
2.5. three of us have the Eagles. Zach, who do you have winning this game?
I love Kansas City at home. You cannot bet against Patrick Mahomes.
I love it. I
It's
love
very
it.
This
All it
isn't-
is. All
As
it
an
is
Eagles
choosing
fan, I
them.
have to take it. I have to take it.
I'm going to take the Eagles as my upset.
That is my upset as well.
I think they're going to get revenge. The Eagles, on paper, are the better
No.
team than Kansas
They
City.
are,
They're
yes.
better than Kansas City this year.
On
Bad.
paper,
We can all
the
agree.
Eagles should win.
Yeah.
on paper.
The Eagles-
We all know if the Chiefs win this game, it's going to be because of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
That's gonna be the
that's
only
how they
difference.
always win.
That's how they
I
always
know.
win.
I
know.
can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I did it as a child against Brady. I hated Tom Brady so much that I bet against him. I
Yeah,
don't
so
bet
did
against
I.
Patrick Mahomes because I've seen it happen. I've seen
The only
I've
time
seen
I'll
this.
ever bet against
It doesn't
Patrick
matter who's
Mahomes-
around them.
It's only the only time I bet against Patrick Mahomes is if it's against my own team.
Yeah.
The only time
Well,
I'll do it.
I'll
At
say
least
this.
he's honest.
I definitely think the Eagles have the better team this year. Doesn't mean they're going to play like it, but I think they have the
They had the
better
better team
this
last
year.
year.
They,
They had the better team last year.
I know.
Patrick
Now,
Mahomes just
my
him.
worry, I think they definitely could win
But
because
Kansas City has the better
offensively,
coach and the better quarterback. And that's
but they
the
have the
difference this year.
weapons. They don't
Yeah.
have the weapons.
They have Kelsey. They don't need
That's all
anything
they
else.
got.
Kelsey's
They
better
don't
than
need
any of the
anything
weapons.
else. They have
in the
Mahomes
Kelsey
league.
and
is-
Kelsey.
I'm
They don't need
sorry,
anything
AJ
else.
Brown.
Kelsey's better. Kelsey's better.
Kelsey is way better than
He's
AJ.
way
All
better.
right. Not way better.
Remove your
Better
bias.
is fine.
No,
Yuri,
way.
Yuri,
He's
you
not
gotta-
way better.
here is my
Let me
issue
explain
with the
this.
Eagles.
Let me explain to you something. There are players where it doesn't matter what's around. Brady had a bunch of lacrosse players as his wide receivers
Yeah.
and won Super Bowls.
That's
Patrick
fair.
Mahomes has a bunch of track guys and Travis Kelsey.
And he's
It
winning
doesn't
Super
matter.
Bowls.
It does not matter. He is that good that he can overcome it.
I think you
As
can.
long as
I
there
know.
are people there that can catch the football. And they do. They catch it.
See,
He
that's.
sets them up.
I feel like that's the way we look at Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Now, the only difference
No.
is Joe Burrow. But Joe
No.
Burrow has weapons. But I feel like Joe Burrow is a lot of that team.
Yeah.
The Bengals aren't going to be
That's
able to
that's
win
kind of
without Joe
how
Burrow.
I feel like. That's
And that's
kinda
why
how
he keeps
we-
getting hurt. Is he tries to backpack and big dick him every week, and
Yeah.
he's starting to pay the price for it.
It's how we used to look at Justin Herbert.
I think
Yeah.
I think the way the Eagles neutralize Mahomes is through the defensive line, their defensive line, because I
They
think
won't. I think their offensive line's good enough to where they won't get
No.
pressure. I think
their
Mahomes gets the ball
their
out.
outside tackles aren't any good.
Mahomes
just their interior
will get the
tackles.
ball out quick enough, and
Guards.
they will
Yeah.
kill them.
It'll be a
over
very
the top.
competitive game. It'll
Kill
be a very
them.
competitive game.
They're going to
As-
hit a bunch of deep shots. on
It's
them.
not.
Yeah.
They're not going to kill him. It's going to be close. Either
The
way,
Eagles secondary has to be better. I will say
it
I
that.
got
has
Kansas-
to. I agree. It
I've
has
got
to.
Kansas City by 10.
10? Holy shit!
Yeah.
I'm
Dude, I
starting-
can't. I've
But
seen
you're
this
going to
story.
disagree with me, Zach. But you are a Eagles hater, I think.
No, I've seen this story too many times. I picked the Eagles to beat the Cowboys, and I love the
whatever.
Cowboys this year.
All you
I
do
picked
is
the
defend the
Eagles.
Cowboys.
He picked the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
No,
this year.
I'm a fan of the Eagles.
You got the
roster.
Niners this year.
Yeah, I'm all aboard the Niners. I think the Niners have the better team this year. Like
Alright.
that's
And
that's
I
my
think
wagon.
this
this
I'm
year.
just saying, from my point of view, you don't.
I will say
like
this
choosing the
too. I have
Eagles.
seen going back to history and why I pick against the Eagles is because I have seen this historically. I have never seen a team lose a Super Bowl and go back and win it the next year.
That's true.
Never. It's
That's
never
true.
happened.
That's fair.
Very.
But-
That's very true. That
So that's why.
I
That's
can't-
when
yeah.
whenever we bring up the Eagles Super Bowl talk, it's like I can't get on board with it.
I
because
mean,
of that.
Seattle kind of did it, but
Yeah.
But they lost
So
because
they
of an
lost.
interception.
They
I think,
lost
we get it.
48
We
to
get the
Brady,
story.
they lost to the GOAT.
yeah, they lost to the goat.
But no, it's
It
gonna be
has
a
to
great
be-
game. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a great game.
Yeah.
Those are my two rules for like Super Bowl predictions is I don't bet against all-time great quarterbacks, Brady and Mahomes, and I don't bet on teams that lost the Super Bowl the previous year, even if the roster is as good as the Eagles.
Well,
But yeah, let's move
Go
on.
Birds,
I think that was a
baby.
good.
Move on.
I think that was a good conversation.
that was a great conversation.
Let's move on. So we got all our picks in. Hopefully, we're all right and Zach's wrong. No
Yeah, I
offense.
agree.
But I want to get
All
into
right.
some quick hockey talk because I've been very impressed with the competitiveness of this season, especially with the Vancouver Canucks.
Oh man,
Mhm.
you guys love that.
Other
team,
than last,
Jason
We gotta talk about
Miller.
Patrick
other than
Kane.
last night.
Dude, they were hating on JT Miller on Chicklets
J-
this week, and Witt was
JT
not having it. They called him a
JT
power play
Miller,
merchant.
Elias Pettersson, and Quinn
Husey.
Hughes Oh, they're going insane. And
Dude,
I
what do
think, and Zach, last week you said you think Allmark gets. I think you're right. I think they're gonna ride with Swayman, and they can get a lot
Dude,
from
did you
Allmark.
you see his fight? Did you see the Swayman's fight?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah. Dude,
I
they're good.
also want to shout out a flyer. I know, but Travis Konecny's having probably gonna have a career year this year.
Ryan, how about the guy I texted you about? He's actually not been playing that bad.
I'm gonna be honest.
Oh.
I
Talking
probably
about the Flyers. We're not
Oh,
talking
Owen
about the
Tippett.
Flyers. I don't.
yeah, Tippett got his 100th NHL point. Congratulations to him. But the Flyers are just gonna be mediocre.
I don't give a shit about the Flyers.
Yeah, they're gonna be
completely
mediocre.
honest.
They're gonna be mediocre. Probably finish with the 10th pick in the draft, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, I will say it's pretty crazy how much better the West is than the East. Because I would say probably
because in the
I think
East,
the 5 best teams in the league are probably in the West.
nah, I think
Dallas,
it's
Colorado,
Colorado,
Vegas, Vancouver. My
Boston.
Kings. I love
Boston.
the Kings.
What about Boston?
No,
Boston's
I'm
not top
not.
5.
Dude, I love the Kings. I love the Kings.
The Kings did lose
Jeez.
5-0 to the Flyers though, and the Flyers did lose to the Sharks.
Yeah, I'd say Kings or Boston is 5. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think anyone's beating Vegas.
I like
think
how you
Vegas-
use that
yeah,
reasoning,
Vegas is
Ryan,
too
with the
good.
Sharks.
Yeah, Vegas is too good.
You know who's really kind of came back and had like a strong second half to this first part of the year? And I was shocked because I thought this team was dead in the water. Washington. They're second in the Metro right now.
Washington's kind of like I think this.
I thought they were
I don't think it's
cooked.
Ovi's. I don't think it's Ovi's last ride because I think
Yeah,
Oh,
when
no,
does
no,
he's
no,
gonna
he's
go
gonna
back
play 3
getting-
more years.
when
he's playing until he gets the record.
Yeah,
Until he
I
breaks
agree.
Gretzky's
Look
record.
at Washington
the
every year.
last point I want to bring up before we run out of time. Patrick Kane met with Toronto this week.
That would be.
We're
very
supposed to get a
interesting.
decision, and it looks like the Rangers are out of it. The
Rangers are
he's
not
going
doing it.
back.
I saw that.
Right. So it looks like in the next we probably will not record again before the next time before he he signs on a team.
I'm pretty sure we're not going to record next week because Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Enjoy your holiday.
Do we think
nice.
All right.
So I think it's down to Buffalo and Toronto.
Yeah. The thing
Where-
is,
I'm leaning-
wherever he goes, I think he will be underwhelming because of the expectations of the name of.
I think if you're like me and you have a realistic expectation and not the fantasy version of
Yeah.
them. Because obviously you think Patty Kane, you think, oh, US GOAT, Stanley Cup winner,
Yeah.
that guy, Hart Trophy guy. I think realistically, he's a first line power play guy. I think still second line
wherever
winger.
he signs, I think
Dude.
he'll be point a game and barely point a game.
So the two teams that we mentioned are
I'd
probably
want
the
him.
favorites.
I want him to
I
go to
think he should
Buffalo.
go to Vancouver. I think he should go to Vancouver.
That would be nasty.
I think that would be the perfect fit for him. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he ends up in Buffalo.
I think
That's my prediction.
He'll stay in New York. I think he'll go to Buffalo.
Yeah,
But Vancouver will be nasty.
I hope he does. I don't think he'll do it though.
All right, we're going to reset our Zoom call, and then we're going to get into our big MLB segment
Ooh.
for the offseason. All right, we are here for our big MLB segment. We said last week on the show we were going to do us playing general manager for certain teams. Just to remind you of the teams. Yuri got the Padres, I got the Cubs, Greg got the D-backs, and Zach got the Reds. I want to go through the first moves. We'll go to free agency in a minute. I want to just get through any extensions or like pre-arb extensions you might have made for certain players, if you made any at all.
Oh, so like any extensions, or are you talking about re-signing players?
No. Just contract extension for like pre-arb guys. Like for me,
No, I do not.
I signed Justin. I gave Justin Steele a 5x75
Yeah.
on a pre-arb
Oh,
extension.
boy.
He deserves that. I also gave Pat Wisdom to avoid arbitration just 1 year at 3. And Adbert Alazai off of last season gave me 3 year, $15 million total.
I just have one re-sign. Like he's a free agent, but I re-signed.
I don't have any extensions.
I didn't
just
look
have
at
some
it.
extensions.
I'm gonna be honest.
Uh,
I only
next-
looked at like. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. Next, let's go into the trade market. I want to ask how many for Zach. How many trades did you have your team?
I just made one.
Greg, how many did you have?
I have one.
And Yuri,
No, two. I lied. Two.
Yuri, how many do you got?
So for trades, I had 2 possibilities, but I decide I'm not making those trades.
I have 2 trades. The first one is a prospect swap. for me. I'm swapping the Cubs number 8 prospect Jackson Ferris and their number 17 prospect first baseman Hayden McGeary for Anthony Solometo.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I went that deep into the Reds.
Yeah.
And the other trade I made, I forgot to write down what number prospect they were for the Cubs, but I traded. Let me just find their fucking name. I traded their number 14 prospect Alexander Canario and their number 29 prospect pitcher Brody McCullough for Carlos Estevez from the Angels.
So I made one trade. I didn't even trade him for anything specific. I don't really know who the suitor should be, but we are getting rid of Jonathan India.
Getting rid of India.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you are trading India.
Yeah. We're trading him. We're trading him for a more experienced player. I don't know what position.
I think that could be like a Mariners type move.
Yeah. That was one of the teams. The two I saw Mariners and Minnesota.
That would that would have them moving Jorge Polanco to third, and that would make some sense.
Yeah. So
Greg,
we're getting rid of India, but that was it. That was the only
want me to go?
Yeah, I want you to go.
All
What do
right.
you got with the D-backs, Greg?
You guys ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trading away Ketel Marte.
What?
Selling high on Ketel Marte. What do you get? What's the return? What's the return?
All right, I'm trading him away to the Boston Red Sox. I'm actually trading away another player, Sims. I think his name's Larden Sims. I wrote down for Brian Bayo and Roman Anthony, one of the Red Sox top prospects.
Yeah, I think you're getting fleeced there, my guy.
But Ryan.
I like
It's not an odd number year anymore.
I like Brian Bayo, and the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm selling high and I'm going Lawler and Perdomo up the middle.
It's an even number
Kind
year,
of
Ryan.
gross. Lawler's the boy.
Lawler's
Lawler's
gross. I think you probably could have gotten more from the Red Sox for that. I think that's a
Yeah.
bit of a fleece job.
But I think Marte's getting old, and plus the contract situation, I'm making other signings as well. And then my other
I forgot you have another one.
Yeah.
What's your other one?
it's a player for player. It's Miguel Castro for the Rays number 16 prospect Marcus Johnson. I'm not a big fan of Miguel Castro.
Yeah, me neither.
He didn't play that well.
I'm
Yuri,
trading.
I want to ask
Yuri.
Yuri, I want to ask what the two trades that you said you weren't going to do. Who was getting traded?
So with Soto, I know he's the guy in question. I decide not to trade him. I think the Padres should just, honestly, with how bad they're looking in their salary situation, they might as well just use Soto in his low money years. I mean, before he gets a ginormous extension.
Was he one of the guys you wrote up a trade for that you decided not to trade?
So I did not write up a trade, but I did have a hot take that if you were to get traded, I don't know if you guys are agreeing with this, but I think the Orioles should be interested. I think they should. They don't have any any big money players yet. They don't have anyone on like big time long term deals. They will.
I have an argument for that.
He could be a building piece. Don't even mention if it has to do with the Yankees. I
didn't. It has nothing to do with the Yankees.
Okay, good. Let's hear it.
The Orioles are a small market team, and they still
That's
got to
true.
pay guys like Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson.
But still, I think they should be in the race for
Mullins. They got to pay a bunch.
But
of
all
guys.
right, here's the real trade I want to get to. All right, I don't know where he could go, but I'll tell you the specifics of what I would do. Greg's not gonna like me for this one, but the Padres should consider trading Ha-Seong Kim. Let me tell you why.
If you're planning to have them go into a rebuild, it makes sense.
So what I'm saying is, he's not on an extension yet, right?
He's not due for one.
If I'm not mistaken. All right, so he's not.
He's still got some good team control for a couple of years.
My thinking is you move Cronenworth the second. You get Bogarts at shortstop again, and you bring in a first baseman. I think with Kim, it's time to sell high on him, and I think you get it. I would go for pitching prospects if you're the Padres because they need help with pitching. Right. But I decide ultimately that I wasn't going to make the trade. But I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if they consider it.
Right,
you can get a lot for Kim too.
You can get a lot for
absolutely.
Kim. You could get a.
I chose not to
truckload for Kim
because I think the Padres should go all in this year.
He's young too.
Let's move to the meat and potatoes of what this is going to be. Our free agency additions, and I'm going to say one thing.
Here we go. I have some fun ones.
With being the Cubs and with what I'm seeing on Twitter from reports,
Bring him in. Sign
They're
him.
bringing in Shohei
Sign
Ohtani
him.
on a 10
Let's go.
$500 million. 10
Let's
years,
go.
500.
Fuck yeah, dogs.
Is anyone,
I did
is
it.
anyone else
I had to
signing
do
him?
it.
No.
No, I'm not.
I
Yeah,
don't
me
want to
neither.
go to no
I
team.
didn't put him
He
down.
unfortunately does not want to come to Cincinnati.
Ohtani to the Cubs, 10 years.
We'd welcome him with
$500
open
million.
arms, but he's
You're
not
giving
a
him
fan
the
of
500
Ohio.
mil. You're giving
him
it
the
to him.
500 over
All
10
right.
years.
All righty.
All right, that one I think we had to get out of the way first. So Yuri, that one will
All
be
right.
on the
Let me,
thumbnail.
let me make my first one.
Yeah, what's your first one?
All right, bringing in a pitcher. I'm taking him from Dodds. Short-term deal, Marcus Stroman.
I'm
Oh.
also trying to bring back Marcus Stroman.
Oh,
I offered him a 4-year 100 and an opt-out after the first 2. That's what I would
well,
do.
I didn't have specific numbers, but 2 years was what I was thinking.
You were thinking 2. I think
So he'd probably stay in
he'd
Chicago
probably stay
in
in
4
Chicago
years.
for that
Yeah,
on over a 4-year 100 with the option of an opt-out after 2.
yeah.
So that means
So-
I'm keeping Stroman unless
Damn.
Greg or Yuri wants
Sorry,
to sign
Sorry, I have
Zach.
another pitcher.
All
I have
right.
another pitcher, and you guys
There's a
aren't going
bunch
to
of
sign him.
pitchers.
So.
There's a bunch of them. You're good.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of pitchers.
Oh, I got one, and you guys are going to see it coming. You guys are going to be
Oh God.
surprised.
Aaron Nola.
What do we got? What we got?
Oh, you want me to do it now?
Yeah.
We're bringing the prodigal son home. You want to Cy Young here? We're bringing back Bauer.
Oh, Bauer.
Oh.
No way.
Yeah.
It took me a
We're
second
bringing
to
back
process
Bauer.
that.
I fuck with that.
No
Yeah.
way.
We're bringing them back.
Reunited.
Yeah,
I
reunited.
like
with
that. I
Cincinnati.
actually like that.
That's a great move.
Wow. You can get him for
really
cheap.
like that.
You can get it for cheap. Little 3-year deal.
All right.
Yeah, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, we're bringing back Bauer. That was my power move of the offseason.
I'm gonna go to Greg. Greg, what is your first priority move for the D-backs?
All
in
right,
free
my
agency?
first priority move is I'm moving on from Evan Longoria. I am going with, I think he's a switch hitter. I believe he is. Jeimer Candelario on a 4-year, $80 million deal.
Ooh, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
I think that might
he's a
be a
switch
little
hitter,
too.
right?
I think it might be a little too much money for Jeimer Candelario.
Originally, I had it at 5 years, $100 million, but then I was
He's
like,
not.
yeah,
I don't think he's a $20 million a year third baseman.
Well, the way the market in baseball,
with the
today,
market though,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I can see it. See
Yeah.
it. That's not the word. All right, Yuri. What is your first priority move?
Can I mention both of my re-signings? There's 2 players I want to re-sign.
What are your re-signings?
So I'm letting starting catcher Gary Sanchez walk. I don't need him.
Good.
And Seth Lugo, I just think he'll get big money, so I'm not gonna be able to re-sign him. I'm letting him walk. Besides that, I think I am going to try to retain Snell on a 5-year, $130 million contract.
I think he's gonna.
I think he would want more. I think
because he just won the Cy Young.
I think he could leverage that.
He's gonna get paid.
So
I think it would be.
I
closer
could go
to
up,
200.
but I think I should. All right, well, we can move it up to that. I think they should try to re-sign him. But I'll tell you this: if they don't re-sign him, they should go after Eduardo Rodriguez. That's what I have written down.
The argument's going to be with
And the contract I have is 5 years, $100 million.
I don't
Yeah,
think
the argument.
anyone's debating that. The argument against Snell is he's going to get a shit ton of money from someone.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping the Padres can keep him. The other re-signing I have real quick.
I'm going to say this
Fire
right
him.
now.
Fire him. I'm getting the fuck out of San Diego.
Yeah, I'm getting out of there.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
will-
trying to re-sign him. That's what I would do.
I will say this about Snell. Some team is going to overpay for him. He's
Someone's
gonna
going to
want-
give him over. Someone's
Oh,
going to give
yeah.
him like 220.
I
Somebody
agree.
will go
I agree.
over 200.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be a bad contract too.
But yeah, in my opinion, if Blake Snell walks, they go after Eduardo Rodriguez, and then my other the other player I'm trying to re-sign is of course Josh Hader. I have him on.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing: I have him on a 3-year, $70 million contract, but I'm giving him a player option after the first year.
Oh,
That makes sense. That makes a lot of
wow.
sense.
Can
That's
I
a
just
good
say this?
contract.
You like that?
What is it, Greg?
I had Josh Hader as my one.
What was the offer?
The offer was 5 years, $90 million.
I think he would take the years over the money.
He
I
would.
think so,
It's
too.
all about the years.
The reason
So
why I
Greg-
did
Greg
the player
gets him.
option, I did the
I think
player
Greg
option
gets him.
because
I think Greg gets him,
gets
even
him.
with the player
Yeah.
option.
all right, I had a backup plan.
He's
just in
a
case
top
this
5
happened.
closer in baseball.
All right,
Yeah.
you ready for this? Instead
Dude, you've
of
made like
Peter-
4 moves. Hold on. Let me make.
Hold on.
Can I make another move?
Let me and Zach, because I've
Yeah.
only announced
Okay,
that I've
okay,
got
fair enough.
Ohtani
I
and
have a
Because I had a
replacement.
backup move since I didn't get Stroman back.
Yeah,
I had
what
a
was
Gosh
his
darn it.
backup?
Gosh darn it, Greg.
What was
We're
it?
going 3 years. He's coming off a big year. This might be a bit of an overpay. We're gonna go 3 years, 70 million. Sonny Gray.
That's
Okay,
a good contract.
I'm not getting.
I think someone will give him like a 5 by 100, but 3 years at 70 is a very good deal.
Yeah. So we're going 3 years, 70 million. Sonny Gray.
I'm gonna group 3 moves into one because they're all short-term deals. First, I got Gio Urshela on a 1 year, $7.5 million
I
proven
like
deal.
that.
Okay.
I'm bringing in a catcher. I'm bringing in Mitch Garver, 2
Yo.
2 years at 18.
I don't know if he's gonna. I think he's
Good
gonna stay on
move.
Texas.
I think he stays
And my
in
last
Texas.
move, it's a prove it deal. Coming off an injury, Reese Hoskins at a 2 year.
Nope, I
30
had
million.
Reese Hoskins.
Hold on, 2
Yeah.
years, 30 million with a player option after the first year.
Oh man, I think I'm about to take him from you.
What's the move?
I
What do you
find this
got?
to be a realistic destination for Hoskins. I have him on a 4-year, $64 million contract.
Oh,
Can
that's
I-
gross
can I just say-
overpay.
That's gross.
But that's what's
I'm
gonna
gonna take
happen.
that contract. That's a
Can I
gross
say my
overpay.
Can I say my one re-signing player?
Yeah.
And then my other signing that I did. Okay, so I'm bringing back Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I didn't specifically write down the contract. I just wrote I'm bringing back Lourdes Gurriel Jr. And my other signing is he had a really good year, but he's an older player. JD Martinez on a 2-year. Might be a little bit.
Oh, okay. I like that.
40 million. 2 years, 40 million.
Oh, that's
It's
a
not
lot
bad.
of money. It's a lot
But
of money.
let's go
but-
back to Hoskins. I mean, who got him? Was it me or you? Ryan?
Yuri.
think
I
Yuri
think
gets
Yuri.
him because
I
that
think
is
Yuri.
a
So here's my
gross
reasoning.
overpay.
I
That is
think
a horrendous overpay.
it is, but I think that's what his asking price is going to be. And I also think with Cronenworth at first, and by the way, just so you know, I don't think Hoskins is a good first baseman. I think they're going to use him as the DH. I would put him at DH.
All right.
That's why I'm bringing him
I
in.
honestly didn't have a backup at first base if I didn't get Hoskins.
I had a backup. I had a
But
backup plan.
I'm gonna go on the fly. I'm making a backup option. I'm going with on a 2-year deal. CJ Crone, 2 years.
That's
at 20
great.
million.
I knew you were going to say
Okay,
him too.
you didn't
I knew
take
you were
my
going to say
back.
him.
Can I go next? This
Yeah.
is actually my last move I'm gonna make. We're gonna go 3 years, 42 million. Jorge Soler.
That's
like
great.
that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Bringing some power into the lineup.
And I got some depth moves. I think that the Cubs should make. First, in the bullpen, I think they should bring in Shelby Miller on a 1-year deal. I have it at around like 2.5 mil. And then 2 guys for the bench. I got Travis Jankowski on a
Oh my God.
on a 1-year
Phillies
deal.
legend.
Phillies legend who doesn't know how to base run on a 1-year deal at $2 million. And I got another Phillies legend, Scott Kingery, as a utility guy
No way.
on a 1-year minimum.
Wow.
Wow.
I think
Well,
I
I
think
didn't
I've
have
done
any of those guys.
very well.
I have a move that I really like for the Padres. I was like fighting with myself what kind of contract I wanted to give this guy, but they need a center fielder. I do not trust Grissom in center, so I'm bringing in. I think you guys are gonna like this pick, Adam Duvall, 3-year, $27 million contract.
I don't think
Duvall
he's
had a-
center. He had a good year. I don't think he's a center fielder though. I think he's a
But they
corner
need
guy.
a center fielder. I mean, I don't know. He played center field last year for
I think
most of the time.
I think Duvall's gonna. He might get a little bit.
I think
more
he could
than
get
that.
more than that. I think Duvall
Yeah.
could definitely get more than
He
that.
had
I'm
a good
surprised you
year.
didn't. I'm surprised you didn't go for like Bader or Bellinger.
I can't. No, I thought someone was gonna take Bellinger.
I don't
And
think
Bellinger's
anyone
too. By the
did.
way, Bellinger's too expensive. You got to keep that in mind. Padres are
the
not in
Padres.
pay mode, so I'm going with Adam Duvall because he's affordable. He's good. He was a 250 hitter last year. He played decently for the Red Sox, so that's why I'm going for him as my center fielder.
I think we've made some very competent moves.
I have more moves. I'm not done.
I'm sure that I want to. Greg, how many more moves do you have that we have?
I actually had one more move, but Zach actually took it. It was the Sonny Gray deal. And I didn't want to overpay. I was originally going to go 90 years, but now I'm going to match Zach's offer and go 3 years, 70 million. Now I want Zach to tell us why you think Sonny Gray should go to the Reds.
Well, I mean,
Instead of the-
I think
We
he would
need
go,
a starter.
No,
We need a starter,
he
and
was
we're gonna
originally-
pay.
Hang on. I think because I'm 90% sure I'm remembering this correctly. Sonny Gray started with the Reds, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he would rather go back than to go to the desert. So I think Zach would get Sonny Gray.
Here's
Well,
the
I
thing,
also just think they're so desperate for like another starter to pair
to
with
pair with like
the three they got.
with
That
Lodolo and Hunter.
I think they will break.
Who do you, Ryan? Who do you think?
I
has a
think
brighter
they
future?
pay. I think they.
Who do you think?
It's a coin flip for brighter future.
I mean, that's not fair. The Diamondbacks just made the fucking World
Diamondbacks
Series.
just made
That's
the
not
World
fair.
Series.
I
One of
know.
the youngest teams. They both have bright futures, but I think Sonny Gray would rather go back to where he was drafted, where he came up, rather than go to a whole new environment.
I think the Cincinnati Reds pay more for him.
Yeah. Oh,
I think the Reds pay more for him,
Reds,
and they win the bidding war.
Zach, do you think the Reds bring back Joey Votto?
If he doesn't retire, yeah, I think he'll. I think Votto will take a. Yeah, Votto will take a deal. But yeah, that's just one of those guys you want in your clubhouse.
He's a clubhouse guy.
Yeah.
So Yuri, how many more moves do you have? So I need to know how much longer.
I have I have like 4.
Run them through.
All right, so I'm gonna go with both of my relieving additions to replace Josh Hader since Greg just had to take him. I'm going with this guy who used to close for the Phillies.
Oh no!
On a 2-year, $15 million deal, I'm going Hector Neris.
Oh, I thought he was going to go Kimbrel.
No, not Kimbrel. Are you? No.
Shut
Why
up.
would I think
Shut
that?
up.
After
Shut
watching
up.
what I just saw.
Go ahead, Yuri. You got 3 more moves.
Headphone warning. Headphone warning or whatever.
Nice.
All right,
Next
I'm stopping. All right. Don't mention that guy's name.
What's the next one?
Hector Neris. Next one is a 1-year deal. I think he'll get 7 to 8 million. Liam Hendricks going to the Padres.
I kind of like that.
I like that. He might
1 year.
He could get close to 10.
Yeah, I agree.
8's very fair.
But yeah, that's my other reliever move with Seth Lugo leaving, and I'll just say this one. I'll stick with the pitchers as my number 4 starter. So right now I basically have Darvish, Snell, and Musgrove still. As a 4th starter, I'm gonna bring in Kyle Gibson on a 1-year, $10 million deal.
That's pretty fair. I thought Gibson had signed a multi-year deal with Baltimore.
No, he only signed a 1-year deal.
It was only one.
And it was for $10 million. I think he'll do the same contract again.
Wait, Ryan, you had Aaron Nola at 2 years?
I didn't bring in Nola.
Who bought a Nola again?
No, none
I
of
didn't
us
bring in
brought
Nola.
None of us went for Nola.
I thought somebody was gonna go Nola.
You want to go for him?
You can go on the fly.
I'll take Nola on a 1-year prove it deal.
He's not going 1 year. He wants the years.
Yeah,
He wants the years.
A 1-year prove it deal. He didn't have.
He doesn't want to prove it deal.
Nola will get the offers for a 1-year prove it, but he won't take it.
He won't take it.
Somebody's gonna give him like 6 years at like 150.
See, I thought
170.
I
Somebody
thought
will give that.
See, that's why I thought going into this past year, Nola was gonna have a huge year.
I think that's why all of us thought. I think I had him in the I had him in a Cy Young race because of that.
Yeah.
And Yuri, what was your 4th and final move that you were going to
So my
say?
final move is a depth move. I think what the Padres are lacking, as you notice, I'm making a lot of kind of low key, low money moves. I have to because they're a mess. So for my depth piece, I want to bring in a guy that has been to the World Series, a guy that has experience, a guy that still can hit and can kind of go into the infield whenever he needs to. I'm going with my Greek brother, Mike Moustakas, on a 1-year, $2 million deal.
That makes sense. That's a very Padres signing. They'd give him a little more than 2 because it's the Padres. I think they'd give him probably 3.5, 4.
I don't blame you. Yeah, but
Padres move.
But yeah, that's the move I think they should make because they need a veteran, like a veteran voice in there somewhere. They gotta get this team rolling.
So
that is all my moves.
I got with my final rotation is still I still got Stroman Steele as the 1-2 with Hendricks, Tyone, and Drew Smiley. And I put a question mark on Ben Brown because he did amazing last season in at least Double-A. I know he struggled at the end of the year, but he might get a chance. And then in the bullpen, you got Estevez, you got Miller, you got Alizai. You got them keeping Mark Leiter, you got them keeping Julian Merriweather and Keegan Thompson. And they get back Cody Hewer, who they got in the Kimbrel deal from, what was that, trade deadline.
The White Sox, was that the one to the White Sox?
That was when he went from Chicago to Chicago. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And when they got Nick Madrigal, and then basic lineup: Garver, Crone, Horner, Swanson, Urshela. Happen left. I got Pete Crow Armstrong as the starting center fielder on opening day.
Let's go.
With Seiya and right, Otani the DH, and then the bench, you got Kingery, Jankowski, Gomes, Chris Morel, and Nick Madrigal. Maybe
That's
Matt
a
Mervis.
disgusting lineup.
Maybe Matt Mervis and Pat Wisdom as well.
That team is destroying the
disgusting.
NL Central. They're
And
That team
destroying
wins
the NL Central.
I think that team
And-
wins the NL Central.
And they got Counsell as their manager too.
Yeah.
That might be
Craig
100. That
Counsell.
actually might be 100 win.
That could
That's
be
a great
100
pickup.
win team.
Well, you got Otani.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think Otani does go to the Cubs. I think he'll go. I don't even know where the fuck he could go. Probably,
Yeah, I saw
LA,
the report.
Seattle, Cubs.
Yeah,
I've seen
Rangers. I saw Rangers.
Not to be that guy, but I've seen rumors of Philly.
He's not going to the Phillies.
He's not. I don't think he's going there. I
don't
think we're
want-
getting the
no.
other Japanese. The other Japanese.
That's it.
guy.
Remember my hot take
I
from
want
last time?
Yamamoto.
I think he's a
Yamamoto.
Red. I think he's a Red Sox.
He could be going with
The Red
Yoshida,
Sox.
Yeah.
They
He
got
could be
they got
joining up with
Yoshida last year.
Yeah.
That could be another. That could be why he goes out on the.
Never
East.
know.
I think he's a Red Sox, and I think Otani, dude. If he goes to the Rangers, that would
Oh,
suck.
that would suck.
Oh,
He actually
the
might
Rangers
though.
would be
Now
sick.
it's
I
out
think
there.
he might. They were one of the ones that he's down to 3. It's hold on, let me look it up real quick. I saw it last night. It was Texas, the Dodgers, and someone else.
I mean, they didn't mind throwing out the money at DeGrom, Seager, Semien.
Fuck it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, I want. Let's go to Yuri next. Yuri, read out what your starting 5 would be, your bullpen, and your obvious lineup and bench. And
oh god.
we'll give an estimate on the.
So
amount of
I'm not going to
wins.
give too much of like relieving and bench, but I will give you.
We'll give an estimate on the amount of wins this team could get.
Okay, so here's my starting lineup. I am rolling with. I thought about this. I'm rolling with Luis Campusano at catcher. I like. He got brought up last year. I think they should give him a shot. And plus, obviously, didn't have to sign a long-term deal yet, so might as well go with that. Then DH, I am going Hoskins. With the sign Hoskins, I'm putting him at DH. I'm putting Cronenworth at first. Bogarts and Kim, you can interchange between shortstop and second base. Machado at third. I forget if Soto plays left or right, but I think he plays left. I'll put him at left. Tatis at right. Duval at center. Then for my starting rotation, I'm going Snell, Darvish, Musgrove, and Gibson. And then my top relievers, obviously, I got Neris. I got Robert Suarez. I got Hendricks.
Isn't Suarez coming off of TJ? I'm not sure if he's going to be back.
I have no idea, but that's basically the bulk of that rotation.
That could win the AL West, or that could severely underperform and become 4th in the AL.
And then on the bench, you want me to mention some bench pieces? I mentioned Mike Moustakas. I think Grissom will be better off the bench. I know they also have
Austin Nola.
He stinks, but yeah, he's terrible. He stinks, but Matt Carpenter is on the bench. I don't know, he might do something for them. Who knows? That's all I got. That is your 2024 Padres prediction.
I think that's a wild
Can I
card.
say
That could be a wild card team.
I think that's pretty good for a team that's top 5 in spending
All right,
and in
I
trouble.
want to hear what Greg. I want to hear.
Can I? All right. So I'll just go around like the infield and I'll do the outfield.
Yeah.
So I won't go like lineup specific.
And like the rotation and all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the starting rotation as well. All right. So behind the plate, I'm going with Gabriel Moreno.
Yep.
At first base, I'm going with Christian Walker. Second base, I could either go Lawler or Perdomo. I'm going to go with Perdomo at second and Lawler at short. At third base, I'm going to go Candelario. Then in the outfield, I'm going Carroll. What did I write
Thomas
here?
McCarthy.
Yeah, Thomas, Carroll, and Gurriel. And then JD
And then
Martinez is my DH.
No, so where's Jake McCarthy?
I'm going to have him on bench.
Yeah, I'm on the. I feel like he'd start over Gurriel.
I mean, Gurriel had a good year, though.
Yeah. Which
Gurriel did have a good year.
And then here's my starting rotation. It's Gallen, Kelly. I'm going Brian Bayo, I could go Sonny Gray, Brian Bayo, Brandon Pfaadt.
Didn't you have Nola?
No,
I did have.
You threw out for Nola.
I did.
Yeah, so I guess you got him.
That's another playoff team. That's like a.
I'll go
could be a
no.
90
All right,
that looks like a 90-win team.
Yeah, yeah. So that's actually a really good starting rotation.
Yeah.
Gallen,
I don't mind
Kelly, I think Brian Bale has some massive.
And you got Hader.
Yeah, Hader coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Hader.
Hader, Ginkle, Seawald. That's a 90-win team.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
a good team.
Exactly.
How many wins do you think my team's gonna get? I think it's like an 87 at most.
It's an 85-win team.
They're gonna. I think they're gonna squeeze in the wild card.
Ryan, what's the Padres payroll like? $400 million.
Oh yeah,
It's
that
terrible.
payroll's crazy.
Guys, again, I think I was in the worst situation. I tried my best.
All right,
The
Zach.
$400 million payroll.
Zach,
All right.
Let's hear your.
So I think this is probably 80, 82 win team.
could be
somewhere
like
around
could be
there.
like the D
Probably third place in the Central.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like a third place.
Yeah.
Actually, with the way the Central stacked up, it could be a second place team. All
And
right,
De
so
La Cruz is
first
only
base
gonna
we
get
got
better.
we got Encarnacion. Second base we got hold on, we've got
Well, you got-
Spencer Strayer,
Yeah. Are you moving Steer?
and then we got because remember I traded India.
Yeah, and then you got Ellie and
Then
McLean.
And then we got De La Cruz, Marte, and then outfield. This is where it gets a little weird.
No Matt
We're gonna
McLean?
go. We can throw him in there,
I
and
think
then
he would.
outfield.
I think he would go at second.
Okay, and then outfield. The infield's a mess. I probably should have gone for another middle infielder. The outfield, Soler and right. Who are we putting in left?
TJ.
Oh, Martini. Friedel I was gonna put in center,
Friedel in center.
and then Martini in left.
Martini. I assume you got Jake Fraley on the bench as well.
Yep. And then
behind the plate is Stevenson.
yep. And then starters we got Green, Lodolo, Bauer, Gray, and then take your pick for the fifth.
The
That's a
thought of
lot.
Bauer.
Zach, I feel like you could have used Jake Fraley as a trade piece.
Jake Fraley
Yeah.
could have been a good trade piece.
I also should have gone after another
one of the infielders also is one of the middle infielders is a trade piece.
Yeah, I should have gone after infielder and a lefty. That's probably my two mistakes I made.
That's probably an 82 win team.
Yeah, it's a solid team. It's not a bad team.
Yeah.
It all depends
No,
on how
it's-
good De La Cruz becomes.
Yeah,
He's gonna be good.
He's an all-star next year.
He's
but
gonna be good.
You never
He'll
know.
get the all-star because the votes because he's a big with the fans.
Yeah.
Not to be.
He kind of
not to be-
didn't. He started really hot, but like he didn't finish that
Yeah.
great.
Not to be
Agreed.
biased,
Yeah.
but I think I did the best.
I mean, you had the most.
Yeah, he
wiggle
had a
room.
lot to work with.
I had
Yeah.
a lot to work
He
with.
did.
The Otani chip's huge.
The Ohtani
I gotta be
chip
honest though.
is
I think
huge.
with what I had to work with, I did a pretty decent job.
Yeah, I like the Padres. How you?
I just
Suck
wanted to
them all.
find some low money moves, but still bring.
I would have traded Soto.
But I will
that's
say,
me.
Yeah.
the real
Yeah.
winner of this is whoever accurately predicts. And if any of us have accurately predicted these moves, whoever has the most right. That's the real winner.
True.
I'm just
And
saying,
remember this: if Blake Snell doesn't resign, they are going to get Eduardo Rodriguez. I think that's who they go for. That's the replacement.
Lefty for lefty.
Hey, Bauer, he's coming
Bauer.
home.
Bauer's
the
coming
thought
home.
of Bauer returning to the Reds is
That would be
actually
so,
outstanding.
That would be so
Yeah.
much
That'd
fun.
be
The Reds
insane.
the Reds would be so much fun next year.
I'm glad you thought of that, Zach.
That was like the greatest TikTok ever. It was like the 2018 Reds just hit bombs and got in fights.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite teams. They weren't good, but they just hit bombs and fought people.
I'll tell
They
you
fought
what, Reds-
bombs every week. Every week.
You should be bringing back Amir Garrett.
Yes, dude. Garrett and Baez fighting every week.
Yeah,
my favorite Reds team was the 2021 Reds team for some reason.
I don't know. This past year, post June Reds, they were so much fun.
Yeah, once Ellie
one
was
of
on
my
the
really
team.
good friends is from Cincinnati. We always joked about how we always like when the Bengals would lose in the postseason, be like, "Oh, at least you got the Reds." Like that's like a joke. And now it's like, dude, he's got the Reds.
He's got the attacks and got the Reds.
He's got him next year. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I think that is all we have for this week's episode.
That was fun.
Wait,
Solid pod.
who was the one player for the Reds? I'm trying to think of the name. He was going off in 2019.
Aristides Aquino.
Yes, Aquino. I thought he was going to be a really good player.
I think we all did because he hit like 8 home runs in about 15 games.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got. Obviously, no episode next week. Enjoy your holiday.
Happy
I will-
Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving,
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving.
If
Happy
anybody
Thanksgiving.
happens to be going to the Eagles-Bills game, I will be there.
And guess what? They wore the Kelly Green that day.
Yes, they are, and I'm going to be wearing my Kelly Green jersey.
I like that. I like that, Ryan.
Which Kelly Green you rocking?
Brandon
what player?
Graham. Brandon
Oh,
Graham.
BG,
it's kind of an
baby.
ugly jersey. I can't even lie.
I could rep my retro Reggie White jersey.
Yo, so many people don't like the Kelly Greens outside of Philly for some reason.
No, they're
I was talking-
fine.
nice.
I
I
just
was
wouldn't get
talking with-
Brandon Graham.
I was talking with
I was-
a New York guy, and he hated those jerseys. Oh
Well,
my god.
That's
No, he's a New York guy. That
That's
makes
New
sense.
York.
Yeah,
New York,
exactly.
yeah.
That's like asking me if I like Tar Heel Blue. No, I don't. I think they're ugly.
I see.
That's
I
more
see
like
now.
asking you if you like any of the Georgia jerseys.
Yeah. It's like, no, that big ass G on the helmet is ugly.
Yuri, it's
or
like
the
asking
Auburn
you-
Navy or the Auburn Navy.
Yeah. Or Tennessee,
like-
like gaudy
Yuri-
orange.
Yeah.
I know
It's
you're about to
Or
say
that's like asking me if I
I know
like the
you're about
blue
to say,
of U of
Greg.
A.
Cowboys.
Yeah, that's like if you
Yeah,
like,
no.
if I asked you.
All right, I got it. You guys
Yeah,
got
we
me
get the
there.
point. We get the point. That's all we
Yeah.
got. Hopefully everybody has a good rest of their week and a good holiday.
All right.
Gobble
Yeah.
gobble.
All right.